Hey guys, it's Willie here from Fish Do We Die Fishing. Today I'm going to be talking about the tackle that I use for striped bass fishing in New Jersey. This tackle will work for wherever you're fishing for striped bass. To start off, I'm going to be talking about the rods and reels that I use. First, spinning. I like to use a 3500, probably about a 4000 to a 2000 reel for striped bass fishing, even in the ocean. I like to fish light no matter what. This is a 120 gram custom rod from Jersey Jigger. With the microwave guides, the Canyon DJR 3500, I could really get lures out there, plugs, poppers, swim shads. It really gives me advantage to get those lures out there. So definitely check that rod out, guys. Second, when the bass are feeding on live bait such as bunker, herring, I like to use my conventional rod for snagging and dropping, stuff like that. This is a Canyon HS15. Right now I have it teamed up with a custom 250 gram Jersey Jigger rod. This rod's awesome. Great action on it. You can land some big fish. For when I'm fishing the back bays, I like to fish a little lighter, but I like to fish a longer rod. The reason why I like to fish a longer rod is because I can get lures out further. It just helps a little bit better. This is a Carrot Stick, Wild Green. It's 710, and it's teamed up with a Canyon Backwater 2000. And for the guys, that don't want to spend the money on a really good rod, I have some cheap rods that really do work well. This is the Penn Squadron. It costs about $30 to $40 depending on what model you buy. But the rod, absolute beast. It's got a great action on it. They're cheap. I've caught about a 40-pound bass on one of these rods. It snapped the next week, but it's only $30. And for conventional wise, I like to use my cheap rod is the Shimano Ugly Stick Tiger Light. Even though these rods are cheap, I like to use the jigging rod. I've caught some pretty big fish on a snag and drop on this rod. It works very well for even fluke fishing. But definitely check those two rods out if you guys are in the market for a cheaper rod. To talk about line. Now, when I'm fishing the back bays, I like to use 20-pound braid. In the ocean, I'm using from 50 to 30-pound braid. On my spinning rod, I'm going to use 30 in the ocean just because it's a little lighter. Lures cast further. It's all personal preference yet again. On my snag and drop rods, I'm either using 40 or 50 depending how big the reel is. When it comes to leader rigging, I either use 40 or 30-pound mono. Just yet again personal preference. It's not thick enough where the fish can see it, but it's thin enough where you can get a better action out of it. Basically, it ties better. You can make better rigs out of it. I just like 40 or 30-pound better. When I'm fishing the back bays and for lighter application, sometimes I'll use either 20 or 15. But that's very unlikely. I'm always mostly either using 30 or 40. For lures now, what really helped us out this year for striped bass fishing was the Storm Wildeye Shad. When those schoolie bass were eating the peanut bunker, herring, they were nailing these lures. I had a day where I had 50 plus fish, not between two guys. Each of us had 50 plus fish on these lures. They absolutely loved the lures that day. Definitely, I have no affiliation with Storm. These lures are just awesome. What was also awesome when the herring were around was a popper. I like to fish the popper either walking the dog, like you would fish a spook, or just simple popping it. Both techniques worked very well. The bass were pushing the herring to the top, so these lures imitated an injured herring at the top of the water. It definitely increased hookups. I caught about 50 to 60 fish on this exact lure in a single day. So if you're in the right time, the right technique, you will catch fish on simple lures like this. Now for when I'm fishing the back bays, I fish the bottom most of the time. I've noticed bass like to hang out at the bottom, especially in shallower water. So I like to throw bucktails. I like the bullet better. Yet again, personal preference. I could put a nice paddle tail shad on the back. It works great. These are 1 ounce. I like to use 1/2 ounce, quarter ounce, 3/4 ounce. Yet again, depends on where the current is, how fast the current's ripping, what tide it is. It's also the feel, what you guys like to feel better. But if you do have any questions about that, feel free to message me. So, what really changed the surf game was the SP Minnow. I caught fish on my boat with these. I've caught fish in the surf with these. When, the fish aren't biting, they'll normally bite these. They just have a great action. Absolutely love this lure. If you guys need a go-to lure, definitely put this in your tackle box. So for when the sand eels are around, the diamond jig is probably the best go-to lure, either for blue fishing or striped bass fishing. A lot of the party boats use these lures, like the diamond jig and crock spoons, all seasons for striped bass. A lot of times it's difficult for the party boats to get every person, a live bunker, so they use a lot of lures. These are probably the most common. These are very productive. They just have to be used in the right time, the right location. This all around, you have to be at the right time, right place, right location to use these lures. I do a lot of fishing up north in Liberty State Park. So when I'm fishing up there, there's a lot of schoolies, smaller fish. The biggest fish you'll get, is a 30-inch fish. I like to use little swim shads like this with a jig head on it. They work perfect. Don't have to do any action. Let it hit the bottom, maybe do 1 or 2 jerks, and reel it in. You'll catch a lot of fish that way. Excuse me. But guys, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, you have any suggestions on maybe more videos, you guys need to know anything about fishing, feel free to message me. Definitely check out Canyon. Definitely check out JD's Tackle, Jersey Jigger, Spool Tech Lures. Thanks for watching, guys. Tight lines.